to our correspondent, Emmanuel Iri in Port Harcourt. Emmanuel, what's the update now?
Traveling, it's coming in back to back. We're getting reports from different parts of the state, and it's looking like not a very good picture. We've heard and we've received reports of killings of at least 16 persons in Andoni. That's not in Andoni now. There's the Andoni story, but this is Abonima now. Abonima in Akukuturu local government area of River State, but again suspected soldiers or persons wearing army uniform. We believe that a lot of questions are being asked right now. Many people think it's time for the army to speak, or some security senior official of the army to speak on this matter, because lives have been lost, and we hope more lives do not get lost before the end of the day. And another report we have from Abonima in Akukuturu local government, as at the last time I checked, is that voting has not even commenced in most of the polling units, and people are running helter-skelter and wondering exactly what is going on. So we need the army or the police or the security agencies to speak on this matter, because it's serious and lives have been lost, and we don't like to see more of that story, Chamberlain.
All right, Emmanuel, well, just some really situations that need a lot more attention on the part of security agencies on this one. Thank you for giving us that update. Well, let me get to Mr. Ogunshaki on this one. Mr. Ogunshaki, now we have some huge security concerns in Rivers, but those who, or do you see it as such first and foremost?
I cannot hear you.
Mr. Ogunshaki, can you hear me now?
Yeah, please repeat the question again.
I'm just wondering, in context of some of these reports coming through from Rivers State, this is a security challenge. There are those who think the police in the first instance shouldn't have allowed any of ballot snatching or this kind of scenario happen. They could have gotten intelligence. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that. But again, from what we've been hearing, it seems that we've been hearing a lot of conflicting stories. In as much as when you are into security, you need to understand that these have to be facts. What you've been saying is, you said a report is coming in, but it's not been factually evidence for us to be able to say this is what actually happened. And you need to give that some time. Because initially when we look at what happened at Okrika, one of the bits that was said is the fact that, well, people have, taken ballots away, ballot boxes, but then later it was revealed that actually there was no ballot to be taken away in that instance. But anywhere there is a life that is lost, it's unfortunate, and we cannot say that in as much as what has happened and take it lightly. A life has been lost. It's really sad. This is supposed to be an occasion where we celebrate our democracy. And I think what the police will be doing is to investigate what happened, and then they can come out with succinct evidence for the public to understand. And I'm not sure that they are not sitting there thinking that it's going to go away. It's not going to go away, but the reality for us at this point is the fact that it needs to be investigated. I cannot sit here and judge what is happening in Port Harcourt. We've been told what happened, but again, those are reports. And when you make your report, it's not being said that these are factual reports. What your what your journalists, your people in the field are saying is a report. It's got to be factual to understand what actually happened. And I think the credibility of this election needs to be judged on facts, not about hearsay and not about reports that are being sent from the field. We need time to be able to investigate these things.
Well, the vice chairman of Okrika local government area did get a live WhatsApp call saying that some of those materials were actually snatched. So that was the vice chairman of that local government area. But Mr. Olugbo, from your perspective, what should we be doing moving forward in conclusion?
I think it's we need to hear from the security agencies because they owe us that responsibility to let us know what is really going on. I remember yesterday the Inspector General of Police spoke after the chairman had laid out the plans, and the acting IGP promised that they were going to go after mischief makers. We expect the police to issue a statement and actually tell us what is going on from their own perspective. It's also important that the army, the armed forces, should actually also tell us what is really going on, because from all indication, they should know, at least for now, whether the individuals who are involved are their members or are they fake soldiers.
All right, Mr. Lugo.
We know there have been instances where camouflage uniforms came into the country.
Okay, my apologies. So I hear you, but we need to bring in our guests. Okay, well, apologies for that, but we need to bring in our guest here in Lagos. So, Mr. Labi, for looking at this whole scenario, how should we be approaching this moving forward?
Moving forward, one thing that jumps out at me, again, I always think as a lawyer, citizens' rights and the right of the state. So you collate information from us, private information, and it's out there without our permission. It's clear to me Nigeria needs a Data Protection Act that will tell us what government can do with our private data, and also guide them as to what they can do with my private data. I'm horrified to find my home address on the internet. It's going all over the place because I gave INEC my data as a voter.
Okay. Well, briefly, we need to wrap up.
Well, I think that we need to rethink the Nigerian state. The premium we place on political power is humongous. And that's why the struggle to capture political power in Nigeria is so cantankerous. Unless we do something about what happens to you when you win election, the kind of emolument you get, the kind of life you live, etc., we continue to witness this kind of very terrible situation.
All right, so I have to thank you all for coming. Boma Alabi is former president, Commonwealth Lawyers Association, also head observer mission of SADC lawyers that involved 14 countries. And then Dr. Dele Ashiru, Political Science Department, University of Lagos. We've also had Benson Olugbo, Executive Director, CLEAN, joined us from our studios in Abuja, as well as Olu Ogunshanke, Professor of Police Studies, also joining us from our studios in Abuja. Thank you all for coming on the verdict.
The final cheering news before we go. Ward 9 Ekiti, we understand election is concluded. INEC officials are waiting for voters.
Okay. So there you go. That's what many thought would have happened in several other areas. Yes. But of course, different numbers that they've got there. So that's the verdict at the moment, but not to forget that you have News Track and Post Stream coming up on the hour, but the verdict will return at 3. But from me, Chamberlain Osor,
Kimba Umar,
and Ayo Makinde,
have a good one.